the Lonely Island Seth Meyers Podcast.
Hey, Andy. Hello, Akiva.
Hello.
Just us three again. No Yorm.
Just us three again. Yorm is out, probably getting pulled around set by a couple of sled dogs, barking orders and his weird Finglish. And it's just the three of us, and we're going to talk about returning from the writer's strike in 2008. We're about to do 4 shows in a row, and it's very exciting. The first show back is Tina Fey, who at this point had never hosted the show. And also, this is pre-Sarah Palin, so this is kind of her first time back.
Oh, awesome.
And it was awesome.
It was.
February 23rd, 2008.
We had overlapped with her one season, our first, her last.
Right.
And then she was in the process of making 30 Rock when we got hired. She was like shooting the pilot our first season.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how she balanced. There was a year where she was on SNL and also creating 30 Rock, which is kind of mind-boggling.
No small thing.
No small thing.
Hats off, Tina. Hats off.
I think that a couple of things happened in this episode where you realize the 100 days we were on strike, some real bangers of films came out because they become sort of a bit of a leitmotif throughout the episode. Because I wrote a sketch where Bill played Daniel Plainview.
Was that the same episode?
The same episode. Because that's why I realized, like, oh, this is the same episode.
Seth, I didn't remember that you wrote that. I love that sketch.
Yeah, it was basically a, I mean, it was Daniel Plainview had a milkshake place, right? I mean, it's kind of odd, Drink Your Milkshake.
Yeah, and Bill's impression was predictably great.
And then Fred was Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men.
Yep.
How are you, Anton? What business is it of yours how I am? Friendo.
Very good, very good. You remember my boy, H.W.? No! No! I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy! I've abandoned my child! Oh, here he is. He's right here.
All 3 of these films are also referenced in the digital short.
That's right.
When do you think the Oscars were? Aren't they always in February?
Yeah, so it must have been right around then.
I bet you that's why.
But also, I think those were all the movies we sort of watched during the writer's strike.
For sure.
Absolutely.
That kind of came out and we had nothing to do but like go see movies. And it was a real, I mean, a hot time. The other one we're going to mention in the digital short, Michael Clayton. I think, like, for me, Keeve, you share my love of Michael Clayton, correct?
Yeah, I'm a Clayton head.
I feel like ultimately what new films and television shows run up against when they want me to watch them is, are you going to hold my attention better than the 10th viewing of Michael Clayton?
Right. Were they written by Tony Gilroy or not?
Yes, exactly. Well, if it's a Gilroy, I'll watch it.
Sure.
Tony Gilroy, who directed Michael Clayton, which is, if you haven't seen it, a fantastic George Clooney movie. Maybe my favorite George Clooney movie. I'll go out on a limb and say it. And then he did Andor.
The greatest.
Which is maybe my favorite Star Wars property since fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, it was very good.
It's very good.
So shout out to Andor.
Kevin wrote in, said the Oscars were the very next day. So we were doing this Saturday night. The Oscars were on Sunday.
Oscar fever.
We had Oscar fever.
What was Best Picture that year?
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
It's insane to think that in one year, No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood were both the same year.
Yeah.
Like both of those would win every year otherwise, probably, right?
It did feel unfair they had to compete with each other.
Yeah.
Another 2 movies that are like eminently, you can go back and revisit. I was going to say rewatchable, but I didn't want them to think I was, that's another podcast. I just don't want them to think that we had an idea that you can rewatch movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
They were the ones who had that idea.
I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't listen to podcasts, but keep going.
Yeah, you've established that. Before we get to the digital short, maybe, I would say a top, certainly in my time there, Annuale is as good of a commercial parody.
I did that.
You shot Annuale?
Yeah. It was an interesting one because they asked me kind of last minute because I could do things and they wouldn't cost anything. And it was going to go through the film department where everything gets done the right way and costs a fortune. And it was going to get cut. And so Tina and Paula came to me and said, do you have a way to just shoot this on the cheap so it can get on the show? And I shot it. I haven't seen it since it came out, but I remember I shot there was a bridal showery kind of scene or something. And we just did it literally in Lauren's office waiting room on 17, like where those couches are, as opposed to building an entire set. Like they just put some balloons there and a bunch of women sitting around a couch. And you're like, yeah, it's fine. And so I did it our scrappy way, even though it was a commercial parody. And then this is something I can't remember ever doing again. and I wasn't in charge of this part. The main part of it's them on a white cyc, kind of all 5 standing there, or however many there were, kind of doing the monologue to the camera talking about Annuale. So I did all the things it cuts to. And then that part they did live. So my things were technically just getting cut to, right? But they did that during dress. And then at air, they just used the dress. So it became a full pre-tape. It was a hybrid at dress and then a full pre-tape. Yeah. And I think I even took what they did at dress and maybe re-edited it a little bit to make it tighter too.
This is also, an example of why anytime somebody like Tina hosts the show, she comes back with one just ice cold killer of a sketch idea, which is Annuale, for those who don't remember, was a medication that made you have 1 period a year. Correct?
Correct.
Oh, right.
And it's just, so it's great, but that one, you just fucking lose it.
New Annuale extends the time between your period by 11 months.
How does it work?
Each Annuale pack has 44 weeks of active pills instead of the usual 3, keeping you on a constant stream of hormones so your time of the month can be just once a year.
That's all I have time for.
And when it is time for your period, hold on to your hat.
And it's just that thing that Tina did. And again, she wrote it with Paula. Lauren Pomerantz was on it, and Carlock as well. But it was like those observations that Tina and Paula had that, like, I feel like nobody had before they showed up on the show. They were just like writing really funny things that I'm going to go out on a limb and say only a woman would think of that idea. And it was so very funny and great.
Or probably should.
Yes.
Yeah, if I had written it, I think it would be a bad look.
I think you're right. There was also a sketch called What's That Bitch Talking About? Definitely wouldn't call a sketch that in 2024.
Is it time to talk about why? So Yorm, during the strike, he went and did Land of the Lost. He talked about that in previous episodes.
Yeah.
And then, so he can't be on this podcast today because he's in Finland, but we did want him to talk about where he was. And he was not even at this episode. I don't know how many episodes we'll have to ask him he missed, because he then was committed to a movie. So he didn't come back to SNL right away when we did.
Right.
That's right.
Because he was still shooting. He was still getting in that little monkey suit and doing his weird made-up language and getting cortisone shots in his thighs, all things we should ask him about.
Right.
Because he had to crouch for 12 hours a day because he was in a monkey stance.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. He sent this. I have not listened to it.
Hang on.
Okay.
I think what you're saying is we're going to Yorm's Corner.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Sing us in.
Oh, should I do the song?
Well, I think we should all take a turn.
Okay, great. You go first.
Oh, Yorm's Corner, you're all invited. Yorm's Corner is happening right now. Take it away, Yorm.
Yorm's Corner, it's what I'm talking about all the time I did. Shocker, Land of the Lost. Take it away, Yorm.
Don't be a loner. Come to Yorm's Corner.
Oh, wow.
Bing. Little bell at the end, too.
Yeah, okay.
That was more of a reinvention,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
not a reboot.
Def my fave.
Well, he's a different guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Share sound. Here I go.
Okay, I'm going to try to keep this as lively and brief as possible because I know Andy's judging me right now. So
unfair.
When the strike was happening, I didn't know how long it was going to last for. And I got the opportunity to audition for Chaka, the monkey boy who speaks a whole other language in the film Land of the Lost, starring Will Ferrell and Danny McBride. And I think this was before Anna Friel got involved in the cast. But anyway, so I auditioned for the part. I had to play a little monkey boy and go around. And I can't remember how I even did it because there was no words to it. Anyway, I got the part. And I had to go to Lorne Michaels and I was like, there's a strike on. I would really love to do this. And because we didn't know how long the strike was going to last for, he allowed me to do it. God bless. Thank you so much, Lauren. And then
Felt sarcastic.
after I shot for 65 days or so, and these guys had gone back to the show, and I was like, oh my God, like now the show's back on. And they were doing this Tina episode. I was like, what am I doing? I'm waking up at 3 a.m. and putting 3.5 hours of makeup on to play this monkey boy character. And also I was getting cortisone shots.
Hey, there you go.
Because I was basically having to crouch every day during improv scenes of like 5 minutes of Danny McBride and Will Ferrell improving while I was like crouching for 5 minutes. So I was getting cortisone shots in my butt. I couldn't walk. Anyway, that's what I was doing during this period when these guys were making the Tina Fey show. Also, I want to say, because I think that was lively enough, hopefully, that I loved Sushi Glory Hole. Sushi Glory Hole was great. Good job, guys. You made our first music video off of whatever this is going to be. Who knows? Maybe it's an album, maybe it's not, you know. And anyway, I thought it was really funny, and it was really great to watch from Finland. I love all of you turkeys. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Really nice. I do think, and I hope Yorm doesn't take this the wrong way, Yorm is not a gym rat.
Huh. Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if like another person had to crouch like 5 minutes at a time, if they wouldn't need cortisone.
I think he did it better than most people would have done it.
Do you think he like went for it and kind of put his thighs and butt through the ringer?
Yeah.
Based on our past experiences, like he's done a lot of puppeteering, especially in early Lonely Island work, like Stork Patrol and The Boo. We had a puppet for a while when Sarah Chalk was unavailable. And Yorm, I know, Keeve, you also were part of the puppeteering.
No, but he commits his body to that stuff.
Yeah, he throws his body into the fray for the art.
Yeah.
And often ends up a little mangled and spit out the other side.
But in hindsight, maybe he would have started hitting, leg day a little bit leading up to it.
Yeah. Do you think like when the reviews started coming in for Land of the Lost, Yorm thought, I probably could have just stood?
I feel uncomfortable answering or laughing at that when he is not here to defend himself.
I think he would. I believe he's already floated to those who hadn't checked how Land of the Lost did.
Yeah. He's got those Razzies that he's proud of. He brings them up.
And also, by the way, a really great actor is like, no matter the project, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it to the height of my crouching.
I do like thinking about opening weekend, him being at home going, man, I should have fucking stood.
We mentioned Milkshake, and now I feel like it's important to get to the digital short. So Grandkids in the Movies is the name of this digital short. And I had only a slight hazy memory of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
I liked it more in rewatch than I had thought I would.
Okay.
But Seth, you've said multiple times on this podcast in the past, now we get into a run of 4 that you guys did that I think are spectacular.
Yep.
And then in my head, every time you say that, I go, Grandkids in the movies?
Yep. That's the mistake. But what I like about the run of 4 is the other thing I've said is they're all very different from one another.
That's true.
That's fair.
And Grandkids in the Movie is very different.
Will you describe what it is? It's different from anything we did before or after. It was just a weird little idea.
Yes. Also, it starts like a commercial. It is a very well-cast old man.
Yeah, he was great.
There was a little bit of I Think You Should Leave vibes happening in this because we cast an actual character actor as opposed to had someone dress up.
To say things phrased very specifically odd.
Yes.
I'm so glad about what my wife did.
Yeah, exactly.
And basically, the established complaint for this product, this commercial product, is old people don't like watching movies where they can't tell what's going on. And they don't know who the actors is, and they can't follow the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this product is solving that problem.
So his wife put his grandkids in the movies he wants to watch so that he feels safe and understands what's happening and recognizes someone.
We see his grandkids are played by Bill Hader and Andy Samberg. Their names are Kevin and Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time we see them, they're kind of like low-key mouthing along with the text of the commercial. They're not talking, but they're like a little bit of
Clearly reading the prompter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Keeve, the thing I will say that I had not remembered as well is how good the effect was of cutting in Andy and Bill into the movies. That couldn't have been easy because we see a very iconic scene from No Country for Old Men where Javier Bardem is giving a hard time to a guy who runs a gas station.
Check out this scene from No Country for Old Men.
Y'all getting any rain up here, Wayne?
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo.
Hi, Grandpa! Hi! Did you see them?
I mean, you're being generous. It doesn't look good like when they do it on the MTV Movie Awards or the Oscars, but considering we did it all ourselves, the fact that the premise even is pulled off is good, and it kind of fits the low-budget commercial vibe, and he's saying his wife did it, so it does also fit that it's not perfect is excused, I think.
I do like that you guys say hi, Grandpa, really loud, and then it cuts back to the old man and he said, did you see them?
Yeah, you could have missed it.
Did you see them?
They're just as big as the main character in the
They're
shot.
just as big as the maker. Another example, Andy, of a very good line for an old man to say. He goes, I love my wife so much, even though we sleep in different beds now.
Yeah.
Real fun.
Yeah.
Not upset about it either. He's
No.
just like, this is a thing I need you to know.
Yeah.
As many couples are not upset about it.
Yeah.
They just reach the age where they decide they want their own space.
Michael Clayton's the next movie. And again, what I really like, everything you do, you never repeat a beat. It's not going to be, hey, Grandpa.
Check out this scene from Michael Clayton.
Right now, there's a BCI unit pulling paint chips off a guardrail. Tomorrow, they're going to be looking for the owner of a...
That phone's in the movie, Grandpa. That's not your phone.
Don't get it.
You're okay.
Okay?
Hi.
Hi.
That's the best beat in this thing.
It is the best beat in the thing.
Honestly, I was ready for it to be a repeated beat of every time it goes to the movie. Then it's just, where are they going to be? And they're going to go, hi. And the fact that this one had a genuine observation and a real thing, and it was second, I felt physical relief watching it when I watched it just before now.
Now, Bill wrote this with us, right, Keith?
Maybe.
I feel like he did.
That sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, maybe it was his bit.
Yeah.
Third beat is Juno. And Juno is, again, it's, look, we're all in agreement. The phone was the best beat. But there's a fun thing in Juno, which is it's Rainn Wilson talking in that, that's a real Diablo Cody, right?
Yeah.
And that real Diablo Cody writing way that was very unique at the time and would be very hard for an old person to follow.
That's right.
Now Andy is sort of translating what your ego is prego means.
I don't understand anything. Like in this scene from Juno.
Third test today, Mama Bear. Your ego is prego.
He's saying that he thinks she's pregnant, Grandpa.
Maybe your little boyfriend's got mutant sperms, knocked you up twice.
I'm not actually sure what he meant that time, Grandpa. Hang
And
on.
I couldn't even follow it watching it now. I'm sure in the context of the film, I would get it.
Oh, yeah. Transformers, that's just basically you start screaming, Grandpa, it's too much action, turn it off. And then I do like that you hold up a remote in Transformers to show them which button to
The
turn
green
off.
button, yeah.
The green button.
I remember this one being so shaggy, and I think it's just because the nature of the movies themselves are paced at movie pace, and we couldn't speed them up. And so it just is longer, and there's a lot more air in this one than our normal stuff. But I also, in hindsight, having not remembered it, I was like, that's fine. It's cute, and it's totally fine. It feels almost like a live sketch.
Yes.
Because it's paced more deliberately like that.
Okay, but answer this, Akiva.
Yeah.
If you could, would you go back and cut it tighter?
Yeah, like you're asking, if we were making this today, would I cut it tighter? And yes, I probably would take more liberties with the movies we were using and just cut them tighter so that the piece can move faster.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers also just brings me to one of my favorite things Alex Bay has ever said. We were working on the ESPYs, and we all went to the ArcLight to watch Transformers, one of the Transformers movies. And hopefully this won't come as too much of a surprise to people who now know that I've seen Michael Clayton 10 times. Don't love Transformers.
Okay, well, that's where we're going to butt heads, my friend.
Not a fan of Transformers, and I thought it was very loud. I realized I was already the old man, even however many years ago. And Alex Bays was there, and he described going to Transformers as sitting in a canoe with a boombox duct taped to your head.
Okay, can I just piggyback on that?
Yeah.
By saying I agree, and I love it.
You like it.
You like having a boombox duct tape.
I like the feeling of being in a canoe with a boombox duct taped to my head.
Oh, okay.
I was at the first Transformers premiere.
Okay.
I was so amped Transformers was coming out. I grew up loving Transformers. I had the comic books. I had some toys, what I could get. And I, of course, loved the cartoon. And I saw the animated Transformers movie in the theater. They killed Optimus Prime. It was crazy. Rise Rodimus. And then I saw a live action one was coming out, and the trailer looked so dope. So I went to the premiere because I was on SNL enough to get invited to the premiere. I sat across the aisle from Tyrese, who's in the movie and the franchise, who I didn't know yet, but we later had one magical night with. And the first time a Transformer transformed, the whole theater went, "Oh," and he jumped up out of his seat and went, "Oh, shit!" Because you just had never seen that effect before, and the CG was so dope. It was such a leap in that moment. I'm being totally earnest right now.
I believe it.
Like,
yeah.
We were all just like, every dude and woman in there who had been a kid that grew up on Transformers was like, they did it. Like, we're going to get to see them do that now like 1,000 times in this movie. And it's so awesome. And the sound design is so huge and amazing. And it was a very fun, special moment for me.
It would have been so funny if the premiere of Transformers had a scene where you just see the Optimus Prime truck, and then it like cuts to a bunch of people going like, "Oh my god, holy shit!" And then you just hear like, whoosh, 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 and then you just cut back to a robot.
It's changing.
Oh my god!
It's like that Wet Hot American Summer beat with Latrulio.
Oh yeah,
he's doing it. He's really doing it.
Just rewatching this short, when it cut to the Transformers beat, I was like, "Holy crap, that looks amazing!" Just in our short.
Yeah, it looks great.
I really try to hammer this home a lot on my show, just because I want to like things, and I'm really happy that you like Transformers.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying
you wish you could wear Chris Martin's jacket to call it back from a while ago.
Yeah. But I don't think, like, Chris Martin isn't, like, while he's wearing it going, jacket.
Yeah, no, he's just doing it.
But that's my problem. I have to constantly remind myself that I'm wearing the jacket. There's a There Will Be Blood scene, and it's just the old man's problem was that scene was too quiet. You guys just kind of walk through and wave.
I assumed that they were gonna like just yell the words louder, but they just kind of went through to entertain him while he can't hear what's happening.
And you know what? It is very nice and very fine.
Agreed. Not even close to Criterion, but nothing too embarrassing.
No, I feel like on any given week, it was like an interesting idea. We hadn't done it before. It incorporated topical movies, and it had a beginning, middle, and an end, kind of.
Yeah.
Support for Lonely Island and Seth Meyers' podcast comes from Viori. Viori draws inspiration from the coastal California lifestyle. Now, I'm here at Naked Gun in the edit, and I'm sitting with a woman named Ash, and she does all the VFX, and she just heard that I was going to do a Viori ad and came running in because she loves it so much. This is not a joke. What did you say to me?
I'm wearing a Viori bra right now.
There you go. And what do you like about Viori? Why do you buy it there instead of somewhere else?
Their stuff is insanely comfortable and super functional. I wear Viori on set as well as when I travel on long-haul flights. I spent $900 in December before I went to Europe for a Christmas vacation on Viori. Can't say enough good stuff.
This is an actual strong endorsement. I don't know if anyone's thought we were being sarcastic during these ads, because we're not. We're always being very serious. But that was authentic on a different level. Let me ask you a question. Do you know any of Viori's Dream Knit TM collection?
No, but I will be going to the Venice store probably to check it out now.
Let me tell you some of the stuff about Dream Knit. Super soft, lightweight, relaxed fit, made from 89% recycled materials, 4-way performance stretch, moisture wicking. Do you like moisture wicking, Ash?
I love a good moisture wicking. No.
No, now you're getting sarcastic like us. You can't say it that way. You have to stay earnest. That's your role in this. Viori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viori.com/island. That's VUORI.com/island. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to viori.com/island and discover the versatility of Viori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Support comes from Shopify. So from what I understand, here's what Shopify does. Basically, you have some sort of a business. You're going to be selling that stuff online. Let's say you're selling shirts and stuff. And you have a great product. You have a cool brand. You have brilliant marketing. But the overlooked secret is actually that business behind the business makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. I know I've went to buy something and I've seen the little Shopify logo at the end and I've been like, what the heck is that? And that's what it is. It's home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%. Now, if you're a business person, you know what that means. So I don't have to explain it to you. I know what it means. Danny, do you know what it means?
No, I'm lost.
It says here that it means way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So I think it's converting window shoppers to actual customers. If you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Aviator Nation uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Lonely Island, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/lowercase Lonely Island to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/Lonely Island.
Do you remember Claire is Coming to Dinner, Andy?
No, was I in it?
Not only were you in it, you wrote it with Forte and Jost. Anything?
Forte's the first name, according to this rundown, though.
Yeah.
Tina episode?
Tina episode, cut from Dress. So it did actually block.
And I helped write it and was in it.
Still nothing?
Nothing.
All right, let's open Claire's Coming to Dinner and maybe do a dramatic reading. And at any point, you're allowed to be like, I remember it.
I will let you know the second I remember it.
I'll read Will and you read Andy. And should it come to it, Akiva, you will read Tina Fey.
Okay.
All right. Clara is coming to dinner. Exterior house, interior family room. Will is in a sharp tuxedo. Andy is on the couch in an oversized football jersey and sweatpants. He has greasy, matted black hair, buck teeth, and a thick unibrow. Trevor, we need to have a serious talk. Will sits.
Okay.
Now, Claire is about to come over here and meet Mom and Dad for the first time, and I don't need to remind you of your history, but I will. For the past 15 years, every woman I have brought to the house to meet Mom and Dad, you have ended up making love to. That was cute when we were 30, but we are 45 and 43 years old now. You're older, and I think it's time for a change. So can you, Trevor, my brother, promise me that tonight, February 23rd, 2016, when Clara comes over, you will not make love to her?
No.
Aw, man, not again. How many women do I have to lose to your superior charms?
I don't know. All of them?
Well, I hope you're joking.
Nope.
Well, I hope you are.
Nope.
Well, I hope you are.
Nope.
Well, I hope you are.
I'm not.
Aw, man, not again. She's as good as made love to, and I can't do a thing to stop it. Doorbell. All right, quick stop here. Any memory?
No, zero.
Okay, so this is a thing. You were in a costume. Will was in a tuxedo. You did this in front of an audience. All right, doorbell. Oh, man. Claire's at the door, and you look gorgeous. Looks like this night is going to end in canine-style intercourse for you guys. Great. Will opens the door to find Tina.
Hi, Bennett.
Clara, you look so good.
Thanks.
I wasn't talking to you, Trevor. I was talking to Clara.
He's funny. What's his name? Trevor, introduce me.
Oh, man. Okay, Clara, but on one condition. Before you meet my brother, you need to promise me.
I can't make that promise.
Tina crosses, sits on Andy. Oh, man. Clara, this is Trevor.
I like that jersey. Did you order it online?
I found it in a public toilet.
Again, anything, Andy.
Nope.
Just checking back in.
Literally no recollection.
You played a man named Trevor who wore a jersey he found in a public toilet.
Nope. It is gone.
It is gone.
Truly.
Are you surprised it didn't air based on what we've heard so far?
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah. It's also, this is really funny when you think about who Tina Fey is. That a sketch was written where like the comic thrust is she's just like...
so far she has maybe 0.25 of one joke.
And all she wants to do is get with you, Trevor.
Forte's name is first.
Forte's name is first. I think we could probably just stop it now.
Well, does anything interesting happen?
You guys have sex.
I don't think it's very good.
No, I think sometimes the right stuff gets cut.
It's got funny writing in there. It's just not.
There's some good turns of phrase.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Steve Martin was in the monologue.
Ooh.
Which is a very big deal for all of us. Steve, as one might guess, a fan of Tina's and showed up to support there. Super fun.
He said, one day I'm going to cash in this chit. And then he did on Only Murders. He was like, remember when I showed up for your monologue?
Yeah, you owe me one.
Now you're the podcaster on my show. I'll see you at 7:30 a.m. in the makeup trailer.
There was both a Rock of Love parody and a Celebrity Apprentice parody. So that gives you a sense of what time we were living in.
Wowie, wowie.
Wowie, wowie is right.
We kind of already talked about Virgania Horsens, but it actually aired here.
Was this the first Virginia Horsens?
Yeah. I keep saying Virginia because, no, it is Virginia. I don't want to mess it up with Virginica, which was something very different.
Yeah.
But Virgania Horsens, I feel like we talked about it a little bit the other day, but this is where Yorm did actually say he had stuff to talk about that. So maybe we get ask him for a voice note that we could put in here, but we can't hear it at this moment.
Thanks, Keeve, for throwing to my voice note. So my main memory of Virginia Horsens, and I think about this often because it's a constant reminder to me of having a really good job in life and feeling really lucky that I get to do really dumb shit in life is that Akiva sent a email to the SNL props department when we were making Virginia Horsens. I remember it was a super late night. It was for like the next morning, and he sent it at like 11 o'clock at night, and the email was titled "Things I Need." That was the subject line. And then it was a list of like a series of bizarre things, like hot air balloon basket, no balloon, parenthetical, horse's head. It was like a series of props that we were going to use, some that we did use and some that we didn't in Virginia Horsens. And it was like one carrot on stick, one, like, it was just like a series of bizarre items. And then he got an email back like 20 minutes later that the response was, I don't know what your job is, but whatever it is great. Keep doing it. You have the wrong email address. And I think about that so often, and I've told that to many people, especially when I'm like having a bad day or like, I'm like, why am I just think about, it's a pretty good job making really, really dumb shit for people to hopefully laugh at. And that was my Virginia Horsens story remembrance. Bye!
So we did this one and we broke it into two. The first one is the one that aired. It's like maybe a minute long. And then the second one was just like a 30-second callback. It aired at Dress, and when it didn't air live, it was like, oh, it can't really ever belong anywhere. Because without the first one, it was kind of meaningless. So then the second time this aired, we'll get to at some point, but we did a new one that I think Jost came up with the idea for me, which was that now she's selling Pony Express.
Right.
But this first one is hot air balloons.
All right, so Virginia Horsen, hot air balloon rides. Kind of just a white hot perfect minute of Wig being Wig.
This is a Keith special. Usually I won't just say that because we're all in a room and I don't remember who did what. But this I just wrote alone by myself and then roped Jost into kind of doing it with me. And then he might have come up with some of the little jokes in there, but it was like a random Sunday and me just wanting to do it. And then I remember shooting it on Tuesday before writing night because I didn't want it to affect the rest of the show because I was not embarrassed of it, but it was so slight and so weird. Just needed her on a green screen and nothing else that I just wanted it to be my little side project because I wasn't sure if it was going to be anything or if I was going to throw it away.
Where'd you set up the green screen on a Tuesday?
God, I do not remember.
I almost want to say it was like in the hallway on 17.
Yeah, it was truly like unlit. It was the most unprofessional thing that I just wanted to make. And then that's also, it was shot pre-strike and didn't air till after strike.
Oh.
I did not do it that week, I don't think. Or maybe it was a hot fever dream strike, right? That no, it couldn't have been. I don't know.
Talk about a timeline tidbit.
Yeah.
It's a timeline tidbit. Virginia Horsen, first of all, perfect name. And so Virginia Horsen, she's selling hot air balloon rides, but it becomes pretty clear. And again, this is only a minute, and we find out a lot about Virginia. She's going to be on the ride with you.
Yeah.
And so kind of the most of the back half is her trying to explain that she's not a bad time to be on it with.
Yeah. This is clearly she needs friends. And someone said, why don't you start a business?
Yeah.
And maybe you'll meet people like out there. And so this is her business idea.
It's also really funny. The thing, long lines at TSA seems to be the thing she keeps coming back to.
Whoa. Hey, I can see my house from here. Just kidding. Why not take a ride in my balloon? I'll cut you a deal. Whee! Forget about airport security. See you later, suckers. I'm taking myself a hot air balloon ride. Ooh, fresh air. Listen, I'm not one of those college types that's gonna talk your ear off. I bought a balloon, and it doesn't mean I think I'm better than everybody else. Or I can just read a book. I'm not one of those people who doesn't know how to be quiet.
She's got ideas.
Did Wig immediately, I mean, it seems like a very well-realized performance. Did Wig know exactly what she wanted to do with Virginia Horsen?
Yeah, but I honestly, not to take anything away from her because she's doing it perfectly and she's doing it very wiggy, as you said, but she's also doing an impression of me doing it.
Yeah.
And it's basically the guy from Just Two Guys. Like when she holds up her hand, I forget what she's symbolizing.
I think it's like terrorists, right? It's like, no terrorists.
Yeah, the threat of terrorism, and she makes a circle with her hand.
Yeah.
That's straight up Just Two Guys stuff. We would always have hand signals that don't match what we're saying, but are very calculated, that are clearly something we've rehearsed and know we're going going to do, but they don't make actually any sense.
I should say I like exactly what the audience is giving Virginia. Like,
Yeah.
the people who like it are liking it exactly the right way.
I'm shocked that for 30% of the audience, every joke's landing,
Yeah.
every little weird thing she's doing. It's not killing with the whole audience, but for those 30, they're picking up on every little nuance.
It honestly, it is like in a Lasercats way. Like, I think for those 30%, the trust had been earned enough that they were like, oh, it's intentionally slow in this moment before the words start floating at her.
Yes.
That was an intentional thing to be a joke, and it gets a laugh. Stuff like that's fun.
I will occasionally have someone who's maybe 35 years old right now because they were probably the right age, or 30, who will come up and ask me about this one specifically.
Really?
And I always go, whoa, really? That one? Okay. But they're like super comedy people.
That rules.
I'd wear a Virginia Horsen's t-shirt.
Oh, same.
I think that would be a...
Oh, yeah. A nice deep cut shirt.
Yeah.
Is you saying you would wear a Virginia Horsen t-shirt Seth's corner?
Yeah. It's Seth's sartorial. It's Seth's closet.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's very, yeah.
If it's about something I'd wear, it's Seth's closet. And again, Yorm's not here, so can you do a Seth's closet song?
Seth's closet, you're not invited. Seth's closet, there's a Virginia Horsen t-shirt in there and nothing else. He's Donald Ducking it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
I do think Virginia Horsen's is also one of those things that for those 30%, they know they're going to watch it again. You know what I mean? It feels like you're like, oh, it's going to be fun to watch a second time because there's going to be fun little things to catch.
So this was how many years ago did we do it?
08.
2008. So it was 16 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
And it was posted on YouTube on the Saturday Night Live channel 11 years ago. So 5 years later. So nobody, maybe there had been a previous post, but I doubt it.
Right.
It has 191,000 views in 11 years. So those people, they've been really sucking it down.
And now you're there, Keeve. What are the last 3 comments for Virginia Horsen?
Let me sort by most recent. Well, the top comment that has 35 likes is by Abadaba232 is, quote, I bought a balloon and it doesn't mean I think I'm better than everybody else. One of the best lines in SNL history.
Great.
35 pluses on that. Hold on. I'm going to sort by most recent now. From 2 weeks ago, Mr. Piccolo 93 wrote, I promise. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
I do always love any joke that starts with I'm not one of those people that
Yeah. This is an interesting one. 5 down from 3 weeks ago from Aiden Artichoke. I just want to stress that Yorma is my favorite. Go Yorma. You do those ad reads.
Oh, nice. So somebody's reaching out as a listener of the pod.
Yeah.
So the cast is feeding the shorts.
So maybe they went and listened knowing it was coming up soon.
Yeah. Love that.
And they knew it was coming. So they went to it to put this here for something for us to find.
Interesting, though, that you're the one who always checks the YouTube comments and they went out of their way to say they like Yorm.
The next one is, hey, Seth, has the podcast started yet? Also 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
3 weeks ago must have been when we sort of talked about this.
Yeah.
Someone who is a friend of ours listened to the very nice stopgap 10-minuter you and Yorm did, Seth.
Yeah.
But they also mentioned that they, and apparently, according to this person, a lot of other people, took umbrage with the fact that we posted a 10-minuter and also put a bunch of ads in it.
There were ads in the 10-minuter?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Dude, no, they should not have been ads in the 10-minuter.
Not our choice. Not our choice.
Oh, by the way, I was going to say, there's only 71 comments on Virginia Horsen.
That's correct.
And it was 71 of the people that were there that night.
Yeah.
If this had been posted the day after, whoo boy, it would have a lot of hits.
You think so?
Definitely.
Someone wrote, this feels ahead of its time, and I'm very surprised it's not more popular.
There you go.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
That was like 10 years ago.
So do we think it was exactly 10 years ahead of its time?
Yeah. Now it's 10 years too late. So people who watch it now are going to be bummed out.
They're going to be like, this isn't ahead of its time by 10 years.
Here's someone wondering if her concealer is meant to be that light. And I would say yes. I definitely said do her makeup poorly like she did it herself.
I guess we should just tell people listening, if you haven't gone and watched it yet, if you're expecting something 10 years ahead of its time, don't bother.
Yes. But if you're expecting something that was right on the money 10 years ago, go get it.
Or that's just like exactly what you'd expect today.
Right.
If you've noticed my energy tailing off, it's because I got a burrito getting cold on the counter.
Oh,
all right. Well,
shit.
You know what? I think we've talked enough about the Tina Fey episode, and I know how much Andy likes burritos. And so we're going to be back next week, hopefully with Yorma and the Elliot Page episode. And you know what? Now I will say it, Keeve, and I mean it. I think the next 3 in a row, I delighted.
If this goes down to 2 next week and then down to 1,
Yeah, maybe like, all right, I should have watched that one before I made my. All right, I love you guys.
Love you, buddy. Talk soon.
Love ya.